So I went to the wrong place and then tried to go to a different place, and that wasn't it either. Before I got there, I found out where the place was, and I had passed it about a mile back. Yeah, a mile. Yeah, what's that? We only do 8 miles an hour. So I'm anchored out here, and I know it looks nice and calm, doesn't it? It's a spooky little lamp moving all by itself. The videos just don't show. It's smooth for a little while, you can see by that, and then all of a sudden it'll just start rocking. I'd show you outside. It's just a beautiful moon that came up. There it goes again. That crazy lamp. Yeah, you get some pretty good ones there. So where I need to go is, I don't know which way I'm facing now. I had problems with that to begin with. It's about a mile back and then a mile off of the main channel. But I figure 950 miles, ran aground-ish kind of once, and then missed my last turn. That ain't so bad. It's kind of interesting being out here. I mean, this is the life I signed up for. It's going to be rocky, it's going to be rolly, it's a little different than being on the lake in Tennessee, but that's what I'm out here for. So this is what we got. We are in Mobile Bay, anchored probably a 1/10 of a mile off of the channel as far as I could get, because there's some big freaking boats coming out of Mobile. Yeah. So just sitting out here and sitting on the boat in the bay. Pre-sunrise, but let me show you what I've been dealing with all night. It's like it's nice and calm-ish. And then all of a sudden, it's the same thing over and over. And it's calmed way down. I was on deck last night after my my little chain holder got ripped out of my bowsprit. I'll show you. I got the door that covers the anchor locker, and the chain comes out at an angle, and after that was ripped off, the chain would fling the door open, bounce off of the lifelines, and slam back down until the next wave came seconds later, and it'd fling it open again and slam it back down. So I had to go put a bridle on it. Fortunately, I have a bridle that I made. I'm not exaggerating this. And this is calm. And this has been all night. It had gotten so bad that the generator wouldn't run. I've got about 1/4 of a tank in my main engine tank, and I guess it was sucking air, so the generator kept shutting off, so I switched it over to a completely full reserve tank, and it still kept doing it. I looked to make sure it wasn't low on oil, low on coolant, anything else, crank it back up and run for a minute, shut off again. It's about 20 outside. I don't know what it is in here, low 50s I would say. I've been running the fireplace on low all night, finally gave up on the generator, started running again. It freaks me out in the middle of the night. And I have been sleeping. I could not sleep in the berth. It is still, even though it's a Pullman berth, which means it's kind of in the middle of the boat, right behind this bulkhead, it's still too far forward. It was really, really throwing me around. So I slept on the settee over here. I actually slept pretty well. I mean, there's a lot of noises I'm not used to in the boat. I know what most of them are, but it's never done it all night when I try to sleep. So the worst ones are probably the cables inside of the mast are not secured, so they just slap one side, clunk, 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 and then round things like flashlights. Try to put them with the direction of the boat, since we're just pitching and not rolling. Is that right? Pitch up and down, roll side to side, I think. The motion hasn't really bothered me. I was starting to feel kind of sick last night, but I had macaroni and cheese and I used evaporated milk because I didn't have any regular milk. So I don't know if that was it, or I don't think I was seasick. I mean, last time I was on the ocean sailing, I got a little fuzzy headed. So I'm trying to get out in the cockpit for you here. This is something I do. I get this little LED and put it in the cockpit, lights the whole cockpit up. And battery powered, but I plugged it in, so I left it on high all night. Maybe you get a better view. That's Mobile, straightforward. This is me. Actually, I can't hold the camera still because I'm moving, so it's not even, it's worse than it even looks. Let's see if I can prop it up here. Where I've got to go, everybody kept talking about a freaking bridge, and now I finally see the bridge. I guess you go towards the bridge. It's the bridge to Dolphin Island. This probably, I don't know. I'd say it probably wouldn't be as bad if you were sailing. But these waves are tall. They're really short as far as one end to the other. Yeah, and this is at anchor, people. Last night, you can't tell, but that bowsprit's still 4 feet off the water, 3 feet anyway when it's all the way down. When I was up there, it was within inches of touching the water. This is calm. It's been an interesting night. But the waves, the peaks, no, they don't look like anything. But these sets that come in, especially last night, I looked out and they were at least 5 feet top to bottom. And I know it's what they call a 2.5 foot wave, but from the top to the bottom was about 5. And here comes some. Here's some nice ones. Yeah, we're going to be rolling on these. I guess they come with gusts. I'm only in 10 feet of water. These still aren't bad. They're barely white capping, but they're just straight up and down. They're not big waves, and there's no space between them. So yeah, here's some. There we go. First night on the ocean. Pretty sunrise. Of course, the camera doesn't really show it. It's a lot blood orange. I don't know what else. It's red on the side, and you can see where the sun's starting to come up. Just orange right in the middle, and the rest of it's just red. It's all part of the adventure. I'd have been fine without some of this. Even the mistake I made coming out last night and going to the wrong place and then missing the turn and deciding to come here. I'm not sure, I don't remember the name of this little island. There's an island right there, and the channel is between me and that island. And there's where I was heading to the second time is on the back side, way back there. And I could have turned. There was a small spot where I could have turned. I'm trying to, there we go. You gotta, and I'm still moving, so I'm still kind of balancing it out a little bit. These aren't too bad. You just get these big ones sometimes. I'm saying they're still half the size they were last night. The wind is still really gusty. Yeah, I could have anchored behind that island and it would have been a lot better. The problem with leaving right now, we're low tide, which the tide here is only 1.5 feet. So not a lot, but they're like, it's real narrow and it's not real deep coming in. But the problem with leaving right now is I've got to go up here, get back in the channel, which is fine. I could go straight across to where I need to go if I wanted to, and then make a left. Problem is, when I make that left, the wind's going to be on my beam, and I'm going to be taking these waves, I guess. I really don't want to do that. I'd rather sit out here for another hour or two and hope this freaking wind calms down some. Because it was wasn't anything like this when I was coming out. Of course, I was heading down with it. But when I came out here, I mean, it was kind of fun. Here comes the sun. Sorry. Very pretty. Yeah, it's not 20 out here, maybe 30. It's chilly. I've got my flannel shirt and my flannel lined jeans on, but there we go. First day on the ocean. Yep. What can I say but oops, and hopefully lesson learned. Well, that was so much fun. I think I'm just going to go back and do it again. So the anchor got hung, of course. The clutch on the windlass, if you know what that is, it's kind of like a clutch in a car. You can put tension on it or take it off. That kept slipping. I couldn't get the freaking anchor up. So finally, of course, you can see that big guy. There's like 5 more behind him. Tighten the clutch up, just gas the hell out of it. Finally got the anchor to break loose, so we are on our way. It's actually kind of pleasant moving. I'm surprised. It's a lot better than an anchor. Maybe it's because the chain isn't dragging me down. This is a hell of a lot nicer than sitting there. I wish I'd left a little earlier, I guess, but we're living and learning. At least we're living. I am out here in the, I don't know what they call this, not the spoils area, that's out there, that's the piles where they dump and they dredge. I am in between. I'm out of the channel. It's 10 feet, consistently 10 feet out here, and I'm not going to get run over by a barge. So this may be another life lesson, but I'm just going to stay out here for a little while. See what happens. Freaking pelicans are crazy. I guess he just wants a free ride for nothing. How about a pelican egg, buddy? How about some breakfast? So this is fun, kind of like, I don't know, jumping out of an airplane for the first time, and the only instructions are pull here. So there's a little bitty skinny channel. I think it says it's 100 feet wide. And I got to go way up here and then turn and go under the Dolphin Island Bridge. Where'd it go? Over there. So yeah, a little scary, but the autopilot's doing a pretty good job of actually drifting a knot sideways. So you actually kind of have to go that way to go that way. We'll be there in 2.9 miles. We're doing about 5.5 knots, so half hour. There is the elusive bridge. We are 3/4 of a mile away, doing 6.4 knots through the water. GPS speed is about 5, so the tide is going out of this little hole. And, well, I guess it's a river, so we're actually going upriver. And depth is about 7.5, but we got down to 5.3. I looked behind me, I didn't see any mud. I drafted about 5.6, so I gotta be a couple inches off there, which is just fine. A little frightening. My hands are frozen and my pits are just dripping with sweat. But I think we made it. Now all we gotta do is get over there and tie up, which the wind isn't bad. I can't measure the wind because I haven't put it back on yet, but it's been quite the adventure. We'll show you Turners here in a few minutes, hopefully. Just a real quick one here at the outside dock, Turners Marina. It is low tide for various reasons. A supermoon, winds out of the north. They got no water here, so they have to wait till high tide to move me into the marina. I'm a little tired. It was quite an adventure. I did enjoy it, but at the same time it was terrifying. So, but we're in here, we're tied up. I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I need a shower. So
I'll get back to you when something else interesting happens.